Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Thursday night live. Today is a special night where we have SD versus SD. My friend Dan Parker from California is here to join us, and that is San Diego, California. So I'm bringing in Dan right now, and let's.
Good. Which SD will prevail?
Yes, which is the real SD?
Hey, good to see you, Tristan. Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, appreciate you. Appreciate you coming along, even though it's cold people up here in the north.
It's nice and toasty. Well, no, it's a little bit overcast today. It's like freezing cold outside, really brisk, like 67, 60.
Oh man, that's pretty tough. I see that things are really rough. Yeah, so we had 70 degrees yesterday, entered showing homes this morning at 45 and rain.
Wow,
so
that's wild.
That's South Dakota for you. That's how it works. And we might actually have some snow in the upper Black Hills on this weekend.
Wow.
Yeah. Welcome to South Dakota. Hey, everybody, if you're joining us, tell us where you're from. Tell us, kind of give us an idea where you're joining us from. And don't be afraid to ask any questions in the comment below. And we'll be sure to answer them and see what we can do to help you guys out. So, but I think Dan is a fellow YouTuber. I think it was 2020. We both kind of first got really started on this project.
Sure.
And about November, October, we were racing to get to the first 1,000. Wasn't that right? Mm-hmm. It was about that time frame.
That's right. I forgot about that.
I think that's how we kind of got connected at the beginning.
There was one day where we had like the exact same amount of subscribers.
And from then on, you went, that was the end of that. Yeah, I was pretending to be the tortoise, but it didn't work. So yeah, for sure. So tell us to know, Dan, about who you are and where you're at. And just tell us about yourself a little bit here.
Yeah, my name is Dan Parker. I am in the I'm in San Diego and San Diego, California. And I've lived here. I feel like I've lived here my whole life. I grew up in Orange County, so about an hour away. I came to school down here, met my wife. We kind of left to live in San Francisco for like 2.5 years. And then we came back and we never left. So we've been here for a long time. I've been in real estate for 5 years. I guess I could say I specialize in helping people relocate to San Diego. And started this YouTube thing, and really just with the goal of, look, it's cool to get the views. It's cool to get the subscribers. It's exciting to do all that. But what's really great at the end of the day is we get people reaching out almost on a daily basis saying, hey, your videos were so impactful for me. I watch every one of your videos, and there are very few feelings that are that good, you know?
Right. When they quote you, and I remember watching a video, you said this, it's like, dude, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you'll have them on a Zoom call or a call, and they'll like use one of your cheesy jokes that you used in your video. You're like, that is, oh my gosh, that's the best.
yeah, so much fun. So if you happen to post this on your channel, my name is Tristan Emond. I'm from Rapid City, South Dakota, and that's on the west side of the state. I've been doing real estate since 2006, so that's a while, 16 years now. 2016, my wife and I said, you know what? We know how to do this, and we just opened up our own brokerage. So we start up our own Mindful Living Realty brokerage, and that's me and my wife and my son that work together as the Emond team. And then we also have another agent working with us. So that's kind of our story here over in Rapid City. So
it's a perfect name.
You got your wife working with you too. So we're just kind of the husband and wife guys.
That's right. Yeah, isn't it great when you can? I don't know. I know for a lot of people, working with your partner is like a recipe for disaster, but for me, it's been, a blessing. So it's great to, I don't know. I really like it. And it's been really impactful for the people that I get to work with as well.
Right. And what we found out is that when you figure out your spots, who does what, it goes a long way, because initially Sarah was going to go and help buyers herself, and I was going to have clients, and she would have clients, but she didn't like that very well. Whenever she had her to-do list and someone asked her to go show a home, and she's like, well, I didn't get my to-do list done. And I'm like, but you showed us more important. And so she wanted to be back in the office, checking the boxes, make sure everything's good. And then I go out and show people because, buyers change their minds, and she didn't like that. And so I'm like, part of the deal. So
work with your strengths. Why not?
Exactly. So RJ's here from Miami.
What's up, RJ?
How's it doing? How are you doing? And then Holden's here from Williston, North Dakota.
Love it.
Straight north, but yet in a different time zone.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
That's a cool thing. Yeah. So let's get started with this. Just talk a little bit, maybe Dan, about San Diego. Got some maps up here if I ever get them pulled up. And I kind of prompted this as, hey, you want to be in the beach, you want to have snow. And that's kind of what people I think of when they think of San Diego versus South Dakota. But to talk a little bit about where you're at in San Diego and kind of the geography of your area.
Yeah, so as far as San Diego goes, it's a county of 3.35 million people. And then there's also the city of San Diego within the county that is about half that. It's about 1.5, 1.6 million people. I work all throughout San Diego County. So myself, I have a team, and we work all throughout San Diego County. Yeah, you don't see a lot of snow here. In fact, I don't think it's ever snowed in San Diego. We're right on the border of Mexico. So literally, I mean, I'm in the north part of San Diego, and it would probably take me 40 minutes to get down to the border as long as there's no traffic. When I lived more centrally, I was about 15 minutes away from the border. So it's kind of interesting that you can literally be in, another country in a 15-minute drive. It takes no time to get down to Mexico. It takes forever to get back in because you got crazy lines. But yeah, if you look at California is obviously a really big place. You have, if you're looking at all of California, Southern California is what we call Southern California is the bottom 10 or 15 to 20% of the state. And you have LA, you have Orange County, and you have San Diego. I grew up in Orange County, which is just north of San Diego, and it's about the same size and population as San Diego. And yeah, was that helpful at all? What other questions do you have about San Diego?
Yeah, so I got this little maybe close-up map here. Yep. I mean, what are your favorite parts here in San Diego? And what do you love about? We're kind of getting at that a little bit more too, but geographically wise, what's great about San Diego?
Yeah, so if you're looking at this map, so this is the city of San Diego that you have highlighted. If you were to zoom out, where I live, well, actually, no, I live in Encinitas, so the northernmost part, which is just a wonderful, wonderful beach community. So the things I love about San Diego are obviously the beaches and the weather. So the beaches are really, really nice. The beaches in San Diego, most of them have public access. So it's not like there's just private beaches. It's not like there's a bunch of beach communities where homes are right up onto the sand. There's a lot of public access, and the beaches are white sandy beaches that are really beautiful, nice to hang out in. And a lot of the beach communities, they all have their own downtown area. So when you're looking at quality of life to live here, there's a lot to like about that. And we're talking about some of my favorite areas. Gosh, there's a lot of areas on here that I really, really like. If you look at the bottom of that map where it says USS Midway Museum, that's where downtown San Diego is. And then just up to the right of that where it says San Diego Zoo, you have Balboa Park. And that is a really big public park. And if we're looking at one of the biggest requests I get about San Diego is what are walkable communities, communities that you just enjoy walking around in. There's coffee shops on every corner and cool little restaurants and places to eat, places to drink. You obviously have that all the way up and down the coast on those coastal communities. But in addition to that, you also have downtown San Diego, which I just mentioned, and then all those communities that surround Balboa Park. So you have North Park, South Park, Bankers Hill, Hillcrest, Mission Hills, University Heights. It's all the areas literally just surrounding the park. And then inside the park, you can go have picnics. There's a San Diego Zoo. There's a golf course. There's a disc golf course. There's a lot that you can do there. So if I'm looking at San Diego and if you've never been here and you want to be a tourist, those are probably the areas that I would check out first.
Nice. Awesome. Well, we'll talk more about some of that stuff here in a little bit, but
just
got to give a quick synopsis of South Dakota, the real SD. We have this whole state is 880,000 people. Maybe 800. No, it's 880, I think. So basically, we could fit 2 or 3 states into your county.
Yep.
That's how that works. And I love this stat. There are 3 cows to every person in the state of South Dakota.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
Yep. Agriculture is our number one all the way through. So you've got a lot of ranches basically on the west side of the river here. This is called West River and East River. And then East River is a lot of farmland, a lot of cornfields, a lot of good stuff going on over there. And
That's
of course, we have
interesting.
the
So
Black Hills. What's that?
sorry to interrupt, but what that made me think of is San Diego actually has more farms per capita than anywhere else in the country. So
Really?
it's so you have the
Little
ranches and
smaller
we have the
farms, or
farms. Yeah.
and I suppose lots of um, vegetables, more vegetable farms, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's a it's hard to get water in some parts of San Diego, but as far as farms per capita, there's the most. So there's a lot of small farms, a lot of smaller farms, but it's very easy to grow a lot of things here.
Yeah. And so, we live over here in Rapid City, which is right next to the Black Hills, which is really a lot of the highlight of our area. People go to the Black Hills for vacations and realize what a great spot is. Mount Rushmore's out here, Crazy Horse out here. There's this Badlands that a lot of people are really finding out and loving as they come traveling out this way. So definitely a lot fewer people, a lot more rural, but we do have our fun stuff here too. It's just a little bit of a different kind of a fun stuff for sure.
Yeah.
So next question for you. Obviously the way I built this was the weather. So we're always going to talk about the main thing. I've helped a number of people from Southern California move up here, and the one thing I always make sure that hey, it's winter. Are you okay with it? Are you expecting that? So give us more about what's your highs and your lows, and kind of your weather update for us.
Yeah. So 78 degrees every day. 365 days. No.
So with snow cones, freely given to you, right?
Exactly. That's exactly how it is here. So no, San Diego is very mild climate. What's nice is even though we don't get snow here at all, you can drive like an hour, well, probably about 2 hours up to Big Bear, and you could go snowboarding. They have snow, so there's fairly easy access to that stuff. But the weather here in San Diego is, what's the best way to describe this without being too boring? So it's basically like between 70s and 80s throughout the summer. So you have late, probably sometime around mid to late June, it really starts to heat up, and will be the best weather in San Diego from June through September, even maybe getting into October. Like those later months are actually, I think, the best months to be in San Diego, because a lot of tourists are leaving, kids are back in school, so the beaches and the touristy areas are less crowded. When you get into like August, September, those are the best months. We do get sometimes up to maybe getting up to 100 degrees, especially once you get more inland, but it's very rare. Same with like the opposite end of that. So I could probably count on one hand how many days out of the year we have weather under 40 degrees, and generally by 9 a.m. at the latest, 8 a.m. at the latest, something like that, it's going to be above 40 degrees. So anywhere from 40 to 100. And the winters, people can be surprised. The winters here it can feel fairly cold, even though we don't get down into those really low numbers. But
I assume because you're near the water, you have humidity.
We do have some humidity. Yes, absolutely. And basically, because if you just drive directly east, so like, can you go back to the map that you had of the bigger map?
Yep.
I need to show you real quick. Perfect. So if you look, you can see San Diego and it's just surrounded by green. And then if you go farther east, it just gets like really dry and bare. Like,
right over here.
So it turns into desert. So when I'm helping people look for different properties in San Diego, general rule of thumb is like, you're going to get 1 degree hotter for every mile you go east.
Okay.
So if you go 10
the
miles,
real hot stuff is over there. You guys don't get. I mean, my impression of San Diego is it's always just going to be dead hot, but that's not so much the case.
No, it's definitely not dead hot, especially when you get closer to the water, and you'll get more like overcast days. You'll get this kind of like this marine layer that comes over, especially in like the early, like right now through mid-June, we'll get that a lot, even when it's hotter in other parts of San Diego. But we don't get smoking hot here. You'd have to go farther east into, kind of the more deserty areas.
Okay. So here's my question.
Yeah.
We do love the beach, and having a beach house for at one point would be nice. But we don't like fog. So do you get like a lot of fog rolling in where you're like covered in fog for a long time, or how does that work?
No, that doesn't happen too often. We get more of when I say like the marine layer, it's really, I mean, sometimes we'll get a little bit of fog, but really it's just more like clouds rolling in. So it just is like overcast. But no, we don't generally get a lot of fog.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we're a little bit different up here in South Dakota for sure. We have a range of all over the place. Obviously, when it gets to winter, we do get cold. We do have areas where it gets below zero for maybe a week at a time. But because of where we live in Rapid City, we have what's called, since living is basically it's called the banana belt. So on the one side of the hills, everything kind of passes over. And then so some days we'll have 45-degree temperatures in the middle of the winter, and the eastern side of the state is still at 20. So we usually have a pretty more milder winter than that. But on the plus side of winter is the fact that we get to go skiing and doing all this other stuff. A lot of fun winter things that we get to go do. But hey, I certainly like the beach too. So summer like right now. Springs is usually amazing when everything starts getting green again. Weather's about 60, 70 degrees. It's just kind of jacket weather. You can sit aside on the porch in the evening, and it's not too hot, not too cold. Kind of, it's just perfect. And then as you get into the middle of summer, it does get hot. It does get some weeks we've had weeks of 100-degree temperatures before, and then it'll cool back down, but kind of the way it is. So yeah, we've got a whole range of, we're not boring like San Diego. We have a change of weather almost all the time. So
yeah, that's what people say. They miss seasons. That's hilarious. Who misses seasons, But
a lot of people that I've met, that's exactly what they say. I like the 4 seasons. I like having everything. So obviously not everybody likes that, but hey.
I have to imagine this is the happiest time of year for the cows out there because it's a little bit chilly and then they have the grass everywhere,
Right, and all the babies have been born, so
Perfect.
Dude, yeah, you can have a cow, man, but your covenants are not going to let you keep it in the yard. Sorry, my friend. It just ain't going to happen. Sorry, I mean, maybe if you ask your neighbors, but, Lady Isaac, thank you for coming in from New York. Yeah, you'll be here in a few weeks, my friend. A few weeks. All right, so what's my next on my list? I need to find my list now. Hang on.
Cost of living.
What's that?
Cost of living.
You're the man.
We're getting spicy now, huh? You just want to blow yourself out of the water.
See, now you're winning so far, so now it's time for me to win.
All right, cost of living. Yeah, I was just reading some type of article today where they were like rating every city in the U.S. and San Diego was ranked really, really low on the bottom, and it was almost 100% because of cost of living. And I know there was another article that came out, or a statistic that came out not too long ago. Let's see if I can remember exactly what it was. But affordability of where you're living compared to how much money you're making. So right. How like affordable is a city. And we ranked, we were like dead last, I think, literally dead last. And so the problem is historically in San Diego, we haven't had a lot of like the really high paying jobs that you get in other parts of California. Like in San Francisco, the Bay Area, that's like the tech capital, right? A lot of, there's a lot of tech jobs up there. San Diego, we have medical field is really big down here. The biotech is really big down here.
And tourism, I assume.
Yeah, tourism. But how many high paying jobs are there in tourism?
Yeah.
So that's a challenge. But tech is starting to get a little bit bigger down here. We're starting to see like Apple open an office, Facebook open an office, Google open an office, Uber open an office. We're starting to see more and more companies starting to open up some offices down here, which is really good for San Diegans and for people that want to live in San Diego. But yeah, as far as cost of living, it's expensive. It's when I did, for example, when I did my video on cost of living in San Diego, right, and pros and cons living in San Diego, I'd list all these pros, and then like the main con. Well, there's 2 main cons. One is it's not as walkable as people want it to be, and the second one is the affordability. It's in how expensive it is, and I think you have to really understand what your budget is, what you can afford, and if you want to live in San Diego, then you need to sacrifice. We'll get into like the housing market, but you're probably gonna have to sacrifice how much home you can afford, no matter what price range you're at. That's a funny thing. I get people reaching out that have a $500,000 budget. I get people reaching out with a $4 million budget, and it's always the same story in terms of they have a want, an expectation of what they can afford, and then they actually hit the reality.
Yeah.
And so that you're going to have to make some type of sacrifice to live here, but the quality of life that you get for it, the opportunity to have good quality life is really, really high. So that's why my whole branding is live your best life in San Diego.
Right.
Best life San Diego.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So obviously, if you do those little calculators where you can do cost of living calculators, you look at any metro area and compare that to Rapid City, it's like 50 grand difference. I mean, you could that's the difference. We don't have the state income tax. We have a limited, what we have is a 6.5% sales tax and everything. Our property taxes aren't cheap, but they're not expensive either. So there's kind of
What is their property tax?
Right in there. What's that?
What is your property tax?
We're looking at 1.2 to 1.5%, somewhere in that range usually.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not crazy. It's not the best. I think when I looked at it, it was number 35 out of 50. So we're definitely on the bottom pool, but not at the very end of it kind of idea.
Let me ask you this so that's a big point that I've recently realized, that California actually has a fairly big advantage over other states is in property tax, and not just how much it is. So ours is around the same. It's like 1.1%, somewhere around there. So we're pretty darn close. The advantage that San Diego has that I realized recently when I found out what's happening in Austin is that we have a proposition that was passed where basically anywhere in all of California, your property tax can only increase 3% year over year. So that's the max that it can increase. So when property values are increasing by 20% and you're already paying $10,000 a year in property tax, you're not going to the next year pay, $12,000 in property tax. So you don't have to worry about these outrageous increases in property tax. It's just going to go a little bit at a time. So it really benefits someone to get into the housing market and then actually stay in the housing market. And then we also have some propositions that pass for people that are over the age of, I should know this, I think over the age of 50 in California, that you can actually transfer your tax basis from one house to another. So if you live in a house for 20 years and you're paying like just a fraction of what you would pay on that house if you bought it today, you can actually transfer that over to the new house that you move into. So do you have anything like that out there, or is it
not at the moment? And part of that is because you guys have had experiences with your housing market has really done this. Our market has really only done this. So there's while taxes have gone up, they've gone up so minorly, incrementally, that it has been an issue. Welcome 2021 and 2020, where our average price of homes have gone up 15% per year, which is outrageous. So now all of a sudden we got all these properties that theoretically are worth 50% more. And, while the tax base hasn't necessarily, we pay in arrears. So, it'll be a couple of years before we actually find out if that actual tax money comes in place. But, a group of committee people sitting around knowing they have more money to spend aren't just going to say, no, let's not spend it. So they're probably going to, taxes probably are going to go up. So that at this point, that I'm aware of, there isn't anything that caps that. But we'll kind of see what happens because we've never experienced this before. So we're kind of in a new growth stage. We're trying to figure out how that's going to work. And then that's in, in Rapid City itself. So, if you're in the, rural South Dakota, that's really not existing right now. But Sioux Falls and Rapid City, the bigger towns, you'll definitely have that.
Gotcha.
The rates have gone up so much. So,
should we talk about the cost of living on like some everyday items too? I feel like that would be a good thing.
Go for it.
I'm curious. I want to know what it's like over there. So what is gas like over by you right now?
Oh man, $4.19 like 2 days ago. It was $3.90. And I was going to gas up, and then I looked at it, and then it went to $4.15. So at $4.15 right now.
Well, we are over $6, so I would take that. I would take that. That sounds nice. $4, like that was years ago. So, and a big part of that is in California. I think the last time gas prices really went down, then they basically had on the ballot for us to. They put like $1 or $1.50 tax per gallon tax to improve the roads. And And then what we found out is they took all this money and none of it went towards improving the roads. It just
Of
went to the
course.
general fund. So
Well,
now
we
we're
can do that.
stuck with this crazy tax rate that is not going anywhere. That is just royally screwing us when it comes to gas. So electric car, hopefully, is going to be on our future. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. What about groceries? You know, do you, I don't know if you buy it, maybe you don't even know what that is. You know, we order online. It's just
Stephanie's in the room, so I can ask her and see what she says. But I think what I can tell you is not only from my research are those items more expensive in San Diego, but then on top of that, you have like, it's kind of part of the culture here where it's just, you know, there's a lot of like health nuts, you know, people are trying to be really healthy. So you'll see a huge preference for people to go towards those organic items and those more expensive items. So that's also going to kind of shoot the price up too. So Steph, if we were going to buy a 12 pack of eggs at the grocery store, how much would you pay?
Organic?
Yeah.
Free range?
Yeah, organic and free range. See, she's already thinking. Yes.
You got to compare eggs to eggs in this example. That's 100%.
All right. So do you want to guess, Tristan, how much?
$5.39.
$7 or $8.
Holy crap. Yeah. So even the better quality eggs here are going to be $3.54 for like an 18 pack.
So yeah, I think that would be like the cheapest eggs that we could find would be around that price.
Yeah, and that would be the kind of the junk eggs or the basic eggs, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yep, that's right.
However, your guys' fruit, I'm assuming will break us to shame each and every day, because obviously we're shipping everything in. Aside from summertime, you know, we've got a small growing season, so I'm guessing you go down to I suppose you have farmers markets or stuff that just selling fruit off the docks, right?
They are, but I mean, they're if you go those routes, you're going to get way better quality and like the most delicious, you know, tomatoes and stone fruits and like the most delicious things that you can find. But it's going to be more expensive than a grocery store for sure, even though you're going direct to the farmer. And that goes back to me saying like we have more farmers per capita than anywhere else in the U.S. So we have more, which means that they're kind of smaller and they have bigger overhead, and the cost of water and the cost of labor and cost of everything is rising like crazy on them. So the cost for these items are pretty darn high.
Yeah. So the other thing that's interesting about South Dakota, and I'm not sure if this is the way it is, but because we are ag based and because we've got a lot more ranching, we've got a lot more animals around. I get beef from a rancher direct. I go buy a cow and pay. I go pick it up, but they take the cow to the locker. They process it. I go pick it up, and I got like 10 boxes of meat. And we do the same thing you can do the same thing for chickens. You can do pork. You can do everything basically farm to table, and it's getting bigger after 2020, especially. It's been getting a lot bigger. So you can do all that direct from ranching here in South Dakota. So that is
actually a very good thing that happened, right? Because we're in this situation where a lot of the big producers, the big ranchers, the big processors would have like someone sick with COVID or some type of issue, and they'd have to shut down the entire operation.
Right.
That actually helped a lot the smaller operations. So we have some really good friends that live in Montana and started their own ranch, and so we order directly from them. That's where we get all of our beef. Yeah. Shout out to Bellcrest Farms.
Nice, well done. Yeah, Only way, in my opinion, only way to do it. You got to have freezer space, but only way to do that. I mean, when we had a full freezer during the pandemic, it was like, well, we'll be okay for a while anyway. So that's kind of the way to do it. But
yeah, we basically don't have any ranches in Southern California because, as far as I know, there's only like 2 or 3 main processors in the state, and it's really, really expensive and difficult to become a processor. And they're all located in Northern California. So if you're a ranch down here, you literally have to ship everything up to Northern California, which might as well be another state, to have everything processed and then come back down. So yeah, it's hard to get beyond like chicken. Like I think there's an exemption for smaller animals like chicken. But as far as like beef and pork and things like that, they're all coming from either Northern California or out of state.
Yeah. Well, for my conversations with others that I have that have moved up here from Southern California, they're basically blown away with how much cheaper everything is. You go to the DMV and that's cheaper. The registrations are cheaper. Just on a lot of things have been cheaper. So,
I got a good one for you. I went to the grocery store. I actually went to the grocery store the other day.
Good job.
One
Did you get a reward?
no, I was just like slowing things down. But I saw there was a basket of strawberries, I think it's a 16-ounce, whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
a small basket of strawberries. And, this is like a store that we don't get everything at because it's a little bit more expensive. And these were like these crazy premium strawberries, $22 for one little box of strawberries. We didn't get it. We're just like, that has to be.
I was going to say, if you got that, hopefully they tasted amazing. I mean, otherwise you'd be like, what?
And they're all probably going to be moldy the next morning. So you better eat them right away.
You got to eat them right away. Yeah, right away. Washington in the house. Yeah. Wow. We were both on going on this one.
This. It's working.
Yeah, there we go.
We're reaching the right people. Zachary, how was San Diego? Tell us how it was. Did he like it?
Yeah, let us know. You like San Diego? What do you at? Better breweries.
I know what my opinion is, but I've never been.
We have a lot of little breweries around. It's amazing the number of. I mean, you could spend all day going to the little breweries, just not even Rapid City, but also in the Black Hills and everywhere around the Black Hills. The little towns have these old little breweries, so we do have some nice craft beer here in Rapid City. I am not a beer drinker, as you noticed a couple weeks ago, so I'm not much on that. So, but I know a lot of people that I have enjoyed a lot of beers around town. I suppose downtown you probably have beers of the yin yang.
Yeah, I think. Well, last time I checked the numbers, which was probably 2 or 3 years ago, we had like 150 plus breweries in San Diego. So there's a lot of them here, and I'll say this. We probably have the best West Coast IPAs in San Diego. So if you're looking for that style, San Diego is your place.
There we go. Yeah. I know that there's a number of, because we do also have, local wheat. We got local beer. I mean, it's just
sure.
So yeah. All right. So moving on to housing. 3-bed, 2-bath, 2,000 square feet. I mean, do you have a lot of single families, or is it more condo scenario, or does it just kind of depend?
San Diego is fairly spread out. So we have the only part of San Diego that's really dense is downtown San Diego, which is a fairly small subset of San Diego. There's a lot of single family, and that's where the demand is. I think we're in a situation where, like most places, we just need more housing. So we need more density. But as far as like 3-bed, 2-bath, so this is the most common question I get, Tristan, is like, people reaching out and saying, I need a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in a nice neighborhood.
Yes.
And to be honest, I would probably say, I don't think you're going to get 2,000 square feet. Like you'll get like 1,600.
Okay.
And it's probably, so just the last, I think 2 weeks or maybe a week ago, the median price home in San Diego for a detached property hit $1 million. $1 million. The reality is, for at minimum, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in a quote unquote, what someone is going to perceive as a nice neighborhood is going to probably start at around 900 to $1 million. It's going to be around that range.
I assume 1,600 one level, because you probably don't have basements. Do you?
We don't have basements, but you might have 2 stories.
Oh, okay. Oh,
2 stories are prevalent. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, definitely no basements. That is one thing that people learn when moving out here. But I would say, if you had $1 million budget for that type of home, then we can definitely find you something that you're looking for. It might take a couple of weeks, but we can definitely find you what you're looking for.
Right. Okay. So we have basements, all basements, in fact, more basements. So we usually have 2,000. So 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square foot.
So
usually
including that
1,000 square feet, 1,000 up. So that means that's both.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that you would run, and of course, depending on where you're in town in Rapid City, but the west side of town is the one closer to the road to the Black Hills. It's got more trees. It's more park-like. People kind of really like it more. 300,000 is kind of where that starts. And it's getting to the point where that even is kind of let's do some work on it. If you want 350 to 400, kind of gets you in that just kind of move-in ready scenario, of course, on up. If you go to the other side of town, you can, 250 is kind of getting to be the point where you can get something in that price point. But, I remember one of my first homes I sold back in the day, $100,000 could get you a one level, 1,200 square foot with one garage. I mean, that's just how crazy things have gotten over the past few years.
I hear these numbers and I can't even comprehend, because if you were to buy a house in San Diego that has a big enough yard to build an ADU or granny flat, which, the city is really pushing right now. The state is really pushing right now. They've eliminated a lot of the fees because we need more housing. So like, all right, the best we can do is just make it
build a little
really,
thing back
really
there.
easy for you to put a little tiny home on your property and rent it out or whatever you want to do with it. If you're looking to do that on your home and to build like a, let's say 700 square foot, 700 to 800 square foot little studio or one bedroom on the back of your property, it would probably cost you at minimum $200,000 to $250,000. So the thought of being able to purchase an entire like ready home for that price with land,
on 0.15 to 2.25 a quarter acre lot.
That's
with
wild.
Fences and yards and all that kind of stuff and trees.
Hey, we have trees. We have some trees. So we got a lot of palm trees. But we got all sorts of trees.
Yeah. So that's the and then of course it depends on we don't have a lot of condos at all. So that's kind of a different aspect. But Rapid City is a very like you mentioned, we're very spread out. And so you don't have the, rows of, you go to some cities, it's a rows of homes and homes. It doesn't like that. We all have our yards and for the most part, and most people that move to Rapid City, they want some space. So that's what they're expecting. That's what they're looking for. But it's getting, tighter and tighter to get into something with some space. Some people want to have some acreage in the Black Hills and, you need to spend some money for that. So, that stuff's getting above $600,000 for anything in the hills anymore. We do have some $1 million to $2 million properties that are, these kind of estate type of scenarios in the hills, probably not more than 3,000 square feet. I mean, you guys probably have mansions plus over there, but I was in somewhere near LA and we saw a house that was for sale that was rented right on the beach. And we're like, well, let's look at that. $35 million. And we were like, what? That's where we could I can't compute that. So
yeah, I just saw, and if you wanted even beachfront in San Diego, it's not like that is going to be the average price. It probably is going to be maybe 8 to 12 million or something like that. Not that that's cheap or anything, but we're talking like beachfront property. But I did just see a property today that had some crazy designer that I think it was 32.5 million in San Diego and La Jolla beachfront. And it's just an insane property, incredible property. Whew. Nice home.
Yep. 100%. Yeah. And the majority of people that I've talked with, so what has happened is the people from the bigger cities have sold their home for $1 million. And then they come up here and go, well, 600,000, that's cheap. I'll take that. And that's kind of has been kind of what's happened, much to a many locals' chagrin. But it hasn't actually been all that bad. So why do you think South Dakotans moved to San Diego, Dan?
Oh, geez. Probably because they won the lottery or inherited a lot of money. And,
other than that.
So why are they moving to San Diego? Geez. So I guess I could tell you my favorite things about San Diego, or is that too soon for that?
Too soon for that.
Okay. So
I just answer the question because I know some people are moving from South Dakota to San Diego.
Sure.
And I was just wondering if you had an idea what that would be.
It's because they want to live their best life. It's they're willing to sacrifice to live somewhere where they feel like they can have their absolute best quality of life.
And it's absolutely worth it if you can get out of the winter and be warm all the time. Especially for those people who have been up here forever. They're like, I'm tired of this winter stuff. I'm moving south. So that'll be the number one reason that South Dakotans move out of town to go south is for the nicer weather.
That's what happened to my mom. So she was one of, I think, 8 kids, and she grew up in Chicago. And when she heard the story goes, when she was 18, she visited California and then loved it so much. She literally went home, packed everything into a suitcase, and a week later drove out to California with no job lined up. She ate like Ritz crackers her first Christmas out here because she had no money and finally worked her way up.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. All right. So now guess why San Diego's are moving to Rapid City or South Dakota?
Some great beef for seasons and for affordability, and because they want to be friends with Tristan.
Of course. I mean, hello. I mean, what other reason would there be? That's all those are true. Majority of it is space, getting away from everybody else. Some people are like, I don't want to see, if I don't see another person next to me in my life, I don't care. And, you know, they're okay with the winters because they have their own space, they have their own place. And they're, you know, South Dakota is a very easy state to live in a sense. There's not a lot of rules and regulations that are telling what they can and cannot do. I've heard stories of some of the people who, you know, when you go to the city to ask to build stuff, their list of things to do. Now, we still have that, but it's not nearly as bad. You know, the HOAs aren't really an issue at all those kind of things. So it's just a lot easier in a lot of ways to live in South Dakota than it is to live in some of the bigger cities where there's a lot more rules and regulations, et cetera, than that. So, but all right, now 3 favorite things.
And I also probably have to say, because you said no income tax, so that is probably a place where people go when they have their own business and want to avoid some income tax.
Yes. South Dakota is ranked always within the top 5 business-friendly states within the nation.
And California is always number 1 worst place.
But you got the beat, so you know.
That's true. All right, sorry, I interrupted. Did we get on to the last question yet?
Yeah. So now we're on last favorite things. And it's kind of wrapping it up and rolling it home.
My favorite things. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I mean, it's expensive here, but it's quality life. Let's see, I wrote down some notes for this just in case I didn't miss anything, because these are my favorite things.
Let me remember what my favorite things are.
I know. So miles and miles of white sandy beaches, and having just access to that, all the public space. So there's a bunch of public parks and hikes. I'm gonna ramble a little bit here, but there's a lot of things I like that it's a healthy lifestyle, or just everything about the lifestyle here. It's a little bit more of a healthy lifestyle. It's very laid back and very friendly. I think there's a misconception that Californians are rude. And I think that's possible maybe in other parts of the state if you're going to LA or like some of these more dense places. But in San Diegans are, for the most part, very, very friendly. And that is a comment I get a lot from people moving here, that they're very friendly. And I think it has to do with the fact that they're just happy and laid back. Obviously, the weather is a huge reason why I love San Diego. And actually, one of the reasons I love San Diego is because there's a lot of diversity in all the different neighborhoods. And by that, what I mean is, obviously the people that make up these different neighborhoods, but also what you're going to get for every neighborhood, and whatever type of person you are, whatever types of businesses you like to be around, there's a neighborhood for you in San Diego that you can go and live in and visit. And even just from one beach community to the other, they're so incredibly unique. And I can't get enough of it.
Yeah, nice. This guy, he's bugging us again.
SeaWorld. Yeah, I don't know. Mixed feelings on SeaWorld. It's a cool place, but
it's touristy.
The orcas, they're in a very, very small place that they live in.
Oh,
it's kind of sad.
I see.
Yeah,
cool. Yeah. So favorite things about about South Dakota, and I've lived here since 1990. So I've been here for a while, and really because I came from Minnesota, where it was really humid. I love the fact that the climate is so much nicer over here. You have little breaks in the winter. You have it isn't nearly as humid. So the climate is one of my favorite things. Believe it or not, I do like the 4 seasons. Believe it or not. However,
lies. It's what you tell yourself when you go to bed at night.
However, if we had a spot to go for a few months during the winter, I don't think that would be something that we would have a problem with.
So that's the season you don't like, but you like seasons.
Correct. So it just gets kind of long, my friend. That's all I'm saying. I can't imagine Christmas without snow, without being cold. Sure. Yeah. There's the crisp, cold, busy feeling of Christmas time. That's kind of great if you probably don't even know what that's not what I'm talking about. But
all jokes aside, no, I get the appeal for sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So and then I don't I'd rather be a little cold and a little hot kind of thing, especially lately. So being able to get into it, being in the summer where it's not terribly hot all the time, which of course isn't there either. So I guess that's not exactly saying anything, but whatever. So, but the most important thing about where we live is the Black Hills. I mean, when you can go up into the mountains in 20 minutes, and you can be walking down a trail all by yourself, and just you can be in a different place every time and just see different things. And there's
That's
lots
awesome.
of views, and it's easy to get places. It is touristy, so you do have some of the, we have our Sea Worlds of the Black Hills, and stuff like that are touristy. But just like you go when the locals go, like now in May or in September, October, when it's also just as beautiful, and into those more popular spots. And when everybody tourists are here doing the popular trails, you just know which trails not to go on and go on your local trails. So certainly, especially during the pandemic, when we weren't going anywhere anyway, to be able just to let's go out the hills and explore was amazing, and that really made me appreciate and a real understanding how great that is to be so close to the mountains. So that's my number one for sure.
So whoever's listening, you still got a couple minutes, I think. Let us know which place is better. Which one is going to win? We can vote in the comment section below.
And you can't just put SD because that doesn't work.
I prefer SD for sure.
Exactly. SD is pretty cool.
Well, we know at least one person in this chat has been to both places. We know that, but it's a fact.
Yep. Yeah, but Chris has already said this, so
we'll run this poll on my channel too, and we'll see.
Exactly. Yeah, we put it in your channel and then decide to what happens. Yeah, that'll be a different story. 100%. Well, nobody's jumping on, my friend. So thank you so much for coming on and joining me, and we enjoyed it very much. Appreciate you talking with me.
Yeah, it was nice to learn about South Dakota. I it's one of those places that now that you mentioned some of the things, I believe that I've been there when I was younger and I saw the Mount Rushmore. I believe so. If not, I don't know. Maybe it was just a crazy dream sometime, but I believe I have been there before.
How does this play?
Okay.
You'll take that?
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Thanks, TC. That was very kind of you. I appreciate it a lot.
You made the guy feel better before we take off.
You got some good people on here.
Yeah, 100%. All right, my friend, have an amazing weekend. Hope things are great for you guys. I mean, hopefully we will not get too much snow over here.
Yeah, we're worried about that too.
100%.
It might be below 60 degrees. No, it's not gonna be below. It might be below 70 degrees this weekend. It's gonna be brutal.
Yeah. Oh, here's Zach's back. 100%. You can go either way.
That's what it boils down to. It's what are you looking for at this point in life? And that might change, and that's okay.
Yeah, a lot of relocations are a job and family are usually the two biggest things. I'm working with a couple right now, and that's why they're moving, is because the daughter and grandkids are here. Just
because their family job moved.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Love it.
All right, my friend. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a great day, and as I say, love where you live, and as Dan would say, live your best life.
That's right. Appreciate you.
Take care, guys.